Hey everybody, welcome back to the Kit Plane Enthusiast YouTube channel. I wanted to make a quick update video because on my previous video where I compared the prices and performance of the Rans S21 to the Zenith 750 Super Duty, a couple of you guys have caught an error I made in my cost analysis of the Super Duty. What I thought was the firewall forward package was actually the finishing kit. So I thought I included the firewall forward package in both airplanes, but it turns out I didn't include it in the Super Duty. Let's go back to the whiteboard and look at those numbers again. Okay, this is how I should have presented the information. And what I did on the previous video was the kit and the finished kit I combined into one price, and that was the kit I had, or the price I had listed for the kit. When I saw the finished kit online, I thought that was the firewall forward kit, and it's not. It's something different. The finishing kit includes the landing gear and the wheels and tires and brakes and all that kind of stuff. So if we separate the cost, you have the kit, the finishing kit, and I still have the same three options here that I had on the previous cost analysis. But now we have the firewall forward package, which adds $9,600 and a propeller. Roger said the propeller they're using is about $2,500. So we add that and we get a total cost now of almost $46,000. So it does bring the cost of the Super Duty up closer to the cost of the Rans S21. You know, a lot of you guys have asked me in a previous video, why don't I just put bush tires on my cruiser and go fly that in the bush? And I actually have thought about doing that, but there's a couple reasons why I don't want to do that. The first reason is it takes away my excuse to build another airplane. Secondly, I really like how my airplane looks with the Blue Angels paint scheme, the smaller wheels with the wheel pans. It's just, I built that airplane as kind of a theme and I really want to keep it that way. The third reason I don't want to just add bush tires to my airplane is because if I was actually to build a cruiser and fly it around and out in the backcountry, I think I'd really want to have the Viking 130 engine. It seems like cruisers with that engine just really perform really well. I would be a little concerned with the weight because it is a heavy engine and that eats into your useful load. But if you look at this airplane was built by Jonathan Fay up in the Seattle area, and it's a beautiful cruiser bush plane. He's got taller gear on it. He's got the same wheels and tires that the 750 Super Duty has. And you can see he has also a Viking engine in it. And he claims a speed of about 115 miles an hour in cruise and really short takeoff and landing distance numbers. So I think a cruiser set up properly could really make a good bush plane. So if we kind of explore that a little bit, let's compare the Super Duty to a Zenith cruiser. All right, now that we're comparing the Super Duty versus the cruiser, let's look at a couple numbers with these airplanes. The Super Duty has 48 gallons of fuel. If you take 2 gallons off for unusual, you get 46, minus 5 for 30 minutes of reserve at 10 gallons an hour. And I chose 10 gallons an hour because if I were to build a Super Duty, more than likely I would put in the 180 horse Lycoming engine, which is the same engine in my Mooney, and it burns 10 gallons per hour. So half hour, 5 gallons, 41 gallons divided by the 10 gallons per hour, because we have a 4.1 hour range. At 100 miles an hour is 410 miles, and just like the last video, I divided it by 2 to get 205 miles, meaning we can basically fly 205 miles out into the mountains and then 205 miles back. Now, if we look at the cruiser with the Viking engine, we have the cruiser itself has 30 gallons of fuel, but there's a 2-gallon header tank. So let's say 32 gallons of fuel. You take out 2 for the unusable. You got 30 minus the 3 I put for a reserve, 27 gallons. The Viking, according to Viking, burns 4.9 gallons per hour. That gives us a 5.5 hour range times 115 miles an hour. 632 miles divided by 2 is 316 miles out, 316 miles back. That's a little over 100 miles further into the bush you could go with a cruiser like this. Over the Super Duty. All right, so we already saw the price of the Super Duty. Let's look at a cruiser with a Viking engine. The cruiser kit is $18,990. The finished kit is $5,800. That includes the landing gear and the tires and wheels. We have the center console, the upholstery, the Viking engine is around $20,000. But here's what's cool about that. That price includes the engine, the firewall forward package, the header tank, the propeller. I think it's virtually every single thing you need to install and run that engine. So that gets us the cost right now of $45,755, which is pretty close to the price of just the kit of the Super Duty. And then I put an extra $2,000 here because I don't know exactly how much the bush tires are. From what I understand, if you go with a cheaper set, it's about $1,200. So I don't know, I just put $2,000 for the bush tires. But then again, if you're gonna get the bush tires here, you can probably delete a lot of the stuff from the finishing kit. So this $5,800 might go down by a little bit, but I don't know, let's say somewhere around $47,000 for the cruiser kit, the engine, and that's probably just about everything except paint and avionics. That's a pretty complete airplane, so, you know, a lot cheaper than the Super Duty. Now, one of the problems with going this route is the Viking engine is a heavy engine for something like a cruiser. So I don't know exactly how much it weighs, so I don't know exactly what the useful load would be. But it's pretty obvious that the useful load on a cruiser set up like this would be a lot less than something like the Super Duty. You know, the Super Duty you can load up with just about, you know, you can put 2 people and the kitchen sink in there and just about everything you're going to want to take into the backcountry and it'll haul it. The cruiser, you'd be pretty limited on 2 people and some baggage. So, you know, it's just every single thing is a trade-off when you're comparing airplanes. Well guys, thanks for watching. Like I said, when you're comparing airplanes, there's always a trade-off. You can get better fuel burn and longer range, but now you don't have the cargo capacity. You can get a slower cruise speed and shorter range, but now you can haul just about anything you want. You really have to figure out what your mission is. And that's something I'm still trying to decide because I've never flown into the backcountry before and I don't know exactly how I would use the airplane. I do know that I need to get my butt down to Zenith and fly the Super Duty. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, thumbs up, all that stuff. I think my next video will be an update on the Blue Angels cruiser. See ya.